Hey guys, Bondo here. So this is what we're doing today. Got this little garage that we're gonna pour. We laid these blocks about a month ago. So this is got a drain in there, trench drain. When we showed up to do this job, it was actually 3 inches of gravel in the back that tapered down to the front. Whoever prepped it that way. They thought they were gonna have a pitched floor, but the homeowner actually wanted a drain in it, so we took all this material out yesterday with Carl the Kubota and regraded it. Got it all flat, and then we fish bowled everything to the center drain. It's got about a little over an inch pitch in it. This is 28 foot wide, like 32 foot deep on average, and we got wire mesh in it. We're gonna pour 4,000 pound concrete with fibers. That's what we're doing. You just got to snap a few lines. I'm the first one here, waiting on the boys to get here. We'll snap some lines and try to get some video footage for you. This is the site. They had to build this all up here. This was real low. Had to put a ton of gravel in here because we're up on a hill, and we exited that drain out the front here. That'll get buried with dirt and pop out to daylight. That's how we did the drain. It comes from here. Comes from right here, slopes down to there. Stay tuned. Here comes the mud! We got Big Rob, Michael.
Kinda.
This quick.
Hey, move that.
Tuna boat. Ready to work, Tuna? You getting your Mountain Dew in you? Oh, Sprite. Big Robbie. We gotta back him up so he can get straight. Big Rob, Circle T, baby. I know. It's right in my truck, dude. No cone. We dropped the ball this morning, man. Tuna was late, so that's what happened. I'll blame it on Tuna. Tuna, you were late. You didn't get the cone out there, kid. You did beat the truck.
I wasn't late then.
Yeah, you're always late. The truck don't matter. Don't hit my board, Big Rob. Can you get in there, Big Rob? Can you do it? If you can't, we got Carl the Kubota. He likes to move concrete too.
Yeah.
I'd rather dump it right in though.
Roller out, man. Got it, big boy.
Don't hit my blocks there. Don't let him hit the blocks. Woo. All right, we're putting her on the tripod. Put a few chutes on them there. What's wrong? Awful tight fit, boys. About ready to rip. There we go. We're gonna try to pour this back half here, actually, as it was hard getting that truck inside there. So we got him in. He just cleared by like an inch. So we're gonna blow out this back section. Get her done. Hey guys, Bondo here. So we're pouring out this little garage here today, and I'll kind of show you how we do it. We're pouring it into a pitch, into a center drain here. Like I showed you, the customer had the job prepped, and they actually prepped it for a pitched floor, which would mean the back of the floor would have probably a 3 to 4 inch pitch from the back to the front. Myself, I like the trench drains better, guys, and this customer here wanted a trench drain, and they work really good. But you got to get the pitch right. As you put the concrete in, it's got to pitch to the drain, and you got to have a good 1.5 inch pitch there from where your concrete's flat on the edge to the center drain. So you can see we dumped out a bunch of concrete here. Pay attention, you wire mesh policemen. We got a hook here, and we pull up the wire. If you look close, there I am right there pulling wire all over the place. That pulls the wire up into the concrete. We also put fiber mesh in this concrete, which is actually little fibers, like fiberglass fibers that are in the concrete too, and that gives it more strength. And this is 4,000 pound concrete, guys. So what we're doing here, we're kind of what I call puddling when you got these flat rakes, and we're kind of leveling it out. Like you see, I'm pulling more wire mesh up here, and we get our edges all flat around the perimeter, and we set that with a laser screed. And you can see me and Mike right now are pitching from where it's flat to the drain, which is 1.5 inch pitch. So you can see Mike's kind of sweeping around, and I'm moving along, hitting the level areas out to the side, and we're getting that 1.5 inch pitch to that drain. So there we are. We got wet concrete there, and it's pitching to the drain. You can see now Mike's got the hook, guys. You wire mesh, please. He's got the hook, and he's pulling up the wire right there. So after you pull up the wire, yeah, you walk on it, but it stays up there pretty good, and that helps the strength of the concrete. So you can see now Mike just had a shorter screed, and he was kind of finishing off that little piece between the drain and where we stopped puddling along there. You can see I was on the edge there with the screed stick, and I was flattening out the edge. Now me and Mike are working our way across, and we're going on that wet concrete that is pitched, and Mike was on the side over there. You can see he's on the flat side, and we're just screeding along. We're hand screeding this whole thing. I find when you're doing these pitch drains, they are better if you hand screed them. You can use a power screed we've had before, but I think you get a little better result if you use a hand screed to do this. See, we're checking the edge here right now, guys. Me and Mike, we used a flat screed stick just to make sure that edge was good. And then I'm going to work my way around the corner, kind of like a compass here. We're just going to keep working our way along, and Mike's on the top of the drain, and I'm just pulling along the top of the wet concrete that we flattened out with the screed, so we know that along that block wall we got a perfectly straight wet screed that we put in there with the laser, so we know that's good, and we're just going to work our way around. Right now I'm magging around the drain, and you can see Big Biscuit and Tuna are puddling. They're kind of keeping the concrete where we want it, so we're not pulling a lot of concrete. You can see we're just pulling very little concrete. They're keeping it right where we want it, which is good. And I just got a mag by my hand there, and I'll kind of mag it out, my footprints out. You can see Mike's on the end of the trench drain. And you get this pitch right, guys, and these drains work really good. When you get any water in your garage, it'll flow right down into that trench drain. And I find these trench drains work much better than a round circle drain, because it's real hard to pitch a floor to one small circle drain, you know, that's like a 12-inch diameter circle drain. It's real hard to get your concrete to flow, you know, to pitch perfectly and flow all the way down into that one little circle. It's real hard to do. So I find these trench drains, they got a lot more surface area to them, and you could pitch to them a lot better, and you could pick up a lot more water off your floor. Now right there, guys, Big Biscuit's got what we call a bow float, and he's just bow floating the lines that we leave when we screed it with the screed stick. The aluminum screed stick leaves those lines, and he's bow floating it, which is just going to flatten that out. And he's trying to not float away the pitch. He's trying to keep that pitch in there, but just get rid of them lines. So he's not turning that. That bow float is adjustable, but he's kind of leaving it pretty flat. So he's not pushing down by angling it too hard, and he would actually change the pitch. You can see we're in the background there. We're still working, me and Mike, and I'm working around the drain here with my mag float, and we're gonna just keep sweeping it around there. Mike grabbed a shorter screed stick, looked like, and yeah, he's just got it back over there. That's me and Mike. I'm on the left, Mike's on the right, and we're working our way down through here. Big Biscuit and Tuna are back in the puddling game here. In a minute we could turn the screed and go the other way, or use a shorter screed, or you could work your way right to the door. I'm not sure how we did. We're kind of compassing around, guys, as you can see. Mike's kind of staying at the drain, and I'm working my way around, and that's what gives you that pitch. It's kind of like a fishbowl, guys. When you're done, everything's kind of like a fishbowl to that drain. And I showed you in the beginning of the video, you actually have to do the subgrade to match what you're doing on top. So you can't just have a flat gravel base and try to put a drain in there, because you want your gravel to pitch at the same as the top of your floor so that you get uniform concrete thickness. This pad here is about 4.5 inches thick, 4.5 to 5 inches thick. So we fish bowled the subgrade too. As I showed you, we had to take out some gravel that the guys thought they wanted a pitched floor, so we had to take out some gravel with Carl the Kubota. But here I changed the angle of the camera, guys. You can see now what we're doing. We're on the other side of the trench drain, and the same thing. Mike right there's got his screed stick. He just put a wet pad in along the edge, and that's set with the laser. And we're just gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna pull ourselves along here, and we got the boys in the back puddling. We're just working down to that. I'm just about to that drain now, so I'm gonna be on the drain this time, and Mike's gonna be along the edge. We kind of switched positions on this side, and we're just working our way back through. You can see I got a mag float in my hand, and I'll just sometimes go back and mag it real quick. Just makes things a little easier. You're kind of kicking your footprints in as you go too. We had trouble getting these trucks in here, guys. It was a little tight, the doorways. They just fit in there, as you can see. But we ended up getting them in there. Looks like right now we're putting the bulkheads on what we call a bulkhead. It's just a 2x6 that goes across the door that holds the concrete from flowing out. So we're putting that in. Obviously we didn't have it in there so the trucks could drive in. And right now we're just you see Mike's got the laser stick in his hand. He was setting the grade. And then we drive a few stakes in, and now that's in, we back it with a little bit of gravel. So here we go. We're just going to fill this last little bit in. You can see we're pulling up the wire again. I got the hook, I think, in my hand. And here we go. And I'm doing a little puddling at this time, me and Biscuit, magging along the edge. Tuna's working along that front block face. He's got the orange shirt on. And then we're just going to grab that screed stick again and work our way out. You see Mike just hit the edge. We're getting a little bit shorter one, I think. Yep. I think that's a 12-footer, guys. We had a 16. We switched it to a 12 right here, and we're just going to work our way out to the door. When you get to where the door seal is, you want to make sure that's real flat. So you want to check that where your garage door seal comes down. And stay tuned. I'm going to show you how we do check that with the screed, and kind of we can adjust it a little bit. That's in this video, so stay tuned. I'll show you how we do that. But here in a minute, everybody's going to get out because we got too many people in there leaving footprints. So you can see everybody kind of jumps out, except I stayed in there. And now I'm just going to get a little short screed and just work my way out, guys. And then Biscuit's got a bow floater. He's just checking right there. You can see he had the laser stick. Biscuit's got the laser stick in his hand. And he's just checking to make sure that edge is good with the laser. Because I'm turning, you can see I'm using that wet stick or wet pad on the side of them blocks. So we want to make sure that's good. Right now the guys are just putting a little bit more concrete in with a shovel. Filling in my footprints, and I'm going to work my way right out. There I am, I'm out. I'm going to sweep it around. Flatten it out, there we go. Tuna's leaning over. And we're just magging it out. And like I said, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how we did these doorways. There's Big Biscuit on the bow float again. Getting you a good angle on that. Show you how that looks when he flattens it right out. Take some ridges right out, them screed lines. You can see that trench drain, guys. When you're done, you'll be able to see the pitch in this floor. We're gonna power trowel this floor, and you'll see that too in the video. I got some footage of that as well. But if it's up to me, I'd say these trench drains are better than a pitched floor because you don't have to squeegee the water out the doors of your garage. But some areas won't allow an open drain like this to daylight in case your car leaks or something. There's some areas, so check with your building inspectors before you do this type of work. If you plan on doing this yourself or hiring somebody to do it, make sure it's legal in your area, guys, because it's not legal in all areas. And at that point, I would say I would go with a pitched floor. I would have a floor like this would be a little bit higher in the back so that the water would run towards the front doors and you could squeegee it out. But if it's allowed, I like these trench drains. We put them in all the time, and you know, you got to charge pretty good for them. You guys, if you're a mason and you want to do these drains, um, they're quite expensive and there's a lot of labor to it, the prep work and stuff. So make sure you charge accordingly. And I mean, people if they want it, they'll pay it though. And there's Biscuit just finishing up with the bowl float, guys. Okay, we're gonna taper these doorways right now, guys. So what we do, I dug some concrete out of here. Just dug it out with my mag, and then I'll go along like that. I want it about a ½ inch lower. I'll smooth it out like that. And me and Big Biscuit snap the chalk line, or a dry line, that's what I call it, across these doorways right here. Because the door seal is going to be in this area, so you don't want to touch that. You want to keep that flat so the seal comes down good. And then you take your mag and just try to cut to that line right there. You don't want to go past that line. I'm cutting it to there. Then I'm just going to take this mag and just get right to that line like that. And a little bit of a taper like that. Just going to dig that material out of there like that. Give you a nice pitch right at your doorways so that water doesn't run in there. Gotta do this while it's still soft too, obviously. Edger right here. Now I'm going to edge it with this big edger. Brass edger. Brass edger, yeah, it's a big thick brass edger. That just makes the edge a little rounded. Gives you that nice clean look along the edge.
Boss is over here killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Killing it.
Just like that. We'll let that sit up a little bit and we'll hit it again in a little bit. What we're doing here, guys, is rod checking the face of the door. So we'll put a straight edge across there, and look at the bottom and make sure that we're flat where the door seal is. So it looks like we got a little low spot there, or it might be high on the
Little one over here too.
If we push that down, I think we're a little high on the edges. Right there. A little bit low right here. Yeah. So we can fix that right now while it's still wet. We'll put a little material in there.
Why do you rod check it?
What's that?
Why do you rod check it?
That's where the door seal goes.
Yeah,
The door
make
seal has
sure
to, the door seal
door
lands
seal
right
sits
there.
flat.
If it's not flat, the door won't seal.
Yeah, water running under your
Water
door.
run under your door. You'll have a mad customer. So we just fluffed it up a little bit right there. And we got a little bit right there. Throw a little bit in there. Well, we already checked the other side and that was pretty good. This side wasn't too great. So we fixed it. Take that off of there, Jay.
Here, come over here and show that to me. See how it didn't touch there? That's what we're fixing.
Just open it up a little bit so that we get that seal we want.
We might have a couple spots over here we need to do too.
That was pretty good. That was that rubber seal will do a little bit, but make sure you got a little spot. You see it touched here, and it didn't there. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Touch. Okay, give me a little bit.
There's a little on the shovel right there.
Give me more. That ain't enough. Give me a little more. Put a little bit right there.
Point that out again.
It hit right here, and then it didn't here. You can see where the screw didn't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's good. That we're gonna fluff up right there. Rod checker again, Jay? Mm-hmm. See how she looks now. Pull it off there. See that little low spot right there. Over here, full touch. Very good. There's a little, see this, Jonah?
Yep.
Come here. See that high spot right there?
Yep.
Show the people. Right there, it's a little high. You can see this is pretty darn good. That's so close that it's good. But we're gonna take that hump right there. I'm gonna steal a little bit of that where it hit a little hard. Now we're gonna put it over here. There. Right where that didn't hit. Right there. Right there.
One more, Jay. See if we got her. Yep. Bingo. That's pretty good right there. That door seal will take care of that. And that's how you check your doors and make sure they're flat for your door sealer. And just give it a little quick light hit. And then let her stiffen up so you don't mess up what you did. Need to edge this, Jay. There we go. Okay guys, now we're power troweling it. So you can see I got the power trowel. That's a 36-inch machine. And I'm just going across my bow float lines that Big Biscuit bow floated it. I'm kind of going perpendicular to them. And I got some flat shoes on right there, guys, and I'm walking in. I don't always wear them, but they're like my stamping shoes. But if you can walk on the floor and not sink in, then you can start power troweling. That's pretty much how I gauge it. But you got to watch where you started. You want to make sure, and you got to watch the sun and stuff. This being wide open, you don't want to wait too long. So you can see I'm on it. I'm not sinking in hardly at all. And nice thing with a garage like this is you can reach over the block to do your edging. You don't have to really get in there. Only place we really got to be on knee boards is around the drain and up against the house. The rest of all this we can just reach right over the wall, and usually you can see Tuna's there. He's probably gonna be hitting that. I got a board here. I just switched up with Biscuit, and he's gonna power trowel, and I'm working the edge now. So he hasn't done a lot of power troweling, but I let him jump in here, and you can see there's Tuna. He's working the edges with his mag. And guys, when you gotta kind of match what the power trowel is doing to what you're doing on the edges. You don't want to be using a hard trowel on the edge before it's ready. You want to use your mag float, which I guess if the easy way to explain it is if it's kind of whipped up and it's soft, and the power trowel is leaving a lot of cream and stuff on top. Well, that's how you want to leave the edges. And you want to, when the power trowel starts to close everything up and you're getting a more finished product, that's when you want to switch over to your steel trowels on an interior slab like this. You want to just match it up. Same thing with as I'm going around this drain, like I'm using a mag float right now, and you can see Tuna's got a mag float in his hand. But later on here we would switch over to a hard trowel of steel trowel, if that makes sense to you. As the machine starts to close things up, and you start, especially when you're starting to burn it in, then you're definitely going to be using your steel trowel, and you're going to set your mag float down, and you're done with your mag float. But I'm just working around this drain here. As you can see, looks like Biscuit's done with his first hit around with the power trowel, and I'm just working along. We tape these drains too, guys. I failed to mention that. We actually usually use zip tape or duct tape. We end up using a really good tape, and we tape over the drain right clean to the edge, and then you can just mag over this thing along the edge, and you can, when you're done the next day, you can peel that tape off of there, and it leaves a nice clean line along the edge of your trench drain. And these trench drains have a cover that comes out. You pull a couple screws out of it, and you can pop the top and clean them out, so they're real nice. But you want to tape that trench drain. Make sure you do that. If you forget, there's a lot more cleanup to it. So we're going to cut this floor with a soft cut saw here in a second. I'm not going to really show you every hit of the power trowel. You got the idea there. Guys, if you like these videos, make sure you smash that like button for me. And be sure to leave me a comment if you got any questions or anything on anything that we've done. Any comments are greatly appreciated. If you're not a subscriber, guys, think about subscribing to the channel. We do a lot of cool stuff. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Nice. It's a nice place. There it is, guys.
All that rain that we had, we've got it rough high dry.
Yeah, exactly. Turned out pretty good. Jane's working good.